minute. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Friday night stream. This is my second attempt at a Friday night stream tonight, I must admit. The first time did not work well at all. I don't know what was happening. I was getting a lot of feedback as I was playing, like a lot of feedback. It was painful, and couldn't work out what it was. So I took the stream offline, tried again, basically reset everything, and it does seem to be working now. So um, hopefully it now works. I'm going to see if it's other people are having a better experience as I did, and if it does, then we'll get on with our stream. Um, you didn't miss much. Basically, what we're playing is Citizen Sleeper, and this is a new kind of cyberpunk style RPG that is very text heavy, very narrative heavy. It has just released on Nintendo Switch now, and yeah, I'm playing it because obviously I'm a big fan of cyberpunk. It promises an anti-capitalist theme because that's what cyberpunk does, and I do enjoy that theme. So I'm hoping that this game turns out to be good. What you missed in the bit of the stream that didn't work, that had all the feedback that I've since deleted and purged off the internet so nobody else has ever experiences that. Um, what you missed was just an introduction to the character. We don't even know who we are yet. That's unknown, and it's just this wall of text that we've seen so far, and it's all very abstract and doesn't really tell us anything. We don't have any concrete details. So basically, what I'm saying is you haven't missed much by missing out on that first little bit of the stream. Or the first attempt at the stream anyway. So I think it's working now. At least it's coming through my headphones okay. So I'm going to assume that it's working. We're going to continue on with the stream as though it's working. And if this also ends up being an absolute waste of time and energy, then I guess I can delete the video at the end of the stream. At least I would have played the game for a bit, because I am quite interested in it. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Cyberpunk. I was a bit disappointed with Cyberpunk 2077 because I don't think it really pushed hard enough on the themes that Cyberpunk is meant to have for me. So I was a little bit disappointed with that. And I'm always looking for, I guess, a game that will deliver on what Cyberpunk means to me. So we're moving on. You are out. You are out. We are out. I don't know where. Here we go. The first graphics. So after that little text introduction, we're on a spaceship as such. And we don't know where we are. We don't know where we are at all. But here we are on the spaceship, and this will be the start of the game, I guess, for people that jump on the stream. I'm just going to send out a tweet to say everyone should jump on. All right, so tweet sent. People now can come and find this stream if they want to watch. So here we go. We've got our map. Let's go into Dragos here. That's Dragos. That's the character. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. Must be a nice blanket, or not a very nice blanket. Could go either way. You are sliding slowly. I'm really reading really badly tonight. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. Must be cold. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, sleeper, are you thawed yet? Um, let's go with it. Almost. Let's say something. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in Sub-Zero vac. So it sounds like you've been exposed to the vast vacuum of space, which apparently is very cold. I understand. You don't want to be out there in space. But you survived it. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside out of locks. In my time, they weren't so lucky. Drogos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech, his headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye looking at you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. So this is very text heavy, incredibly text heavy. It's almost like a choose your own adventure, which could be cool. And I guess that fits with the indie spirit. It wasn't ever going to be a Cyberpunk 2077 type game because it was made by a very small development team. It's published by Fellow Traveller, which is a very small but artsy publisher. Well, they're a combination of kind of cheap puzzle games, and then they do publish some very artsy stuff as well. So this one seems to be more on that level. I do indeed plan on surviving. You sell yourself to a corporation, and I suppose you do your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software, a rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. So you're definitely an android. You're not a person, you're a robot-y thing. The promise of a life-off world. Like I said in the bit of the stream that I deleted, this game, I don't know if this game has voiceover because I have to turn the sound of the game off in order to do this video. You should hear a bit of sound yourselves, but I don't know if there's any voiceover. You're just reading text as you play this. What you don't know is what's ahead, at least the one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper that makes it out. S and ARP, S and ARP wants to protect their property. That would be the corporation then. But if they can't keep hold of you, well then no one can. That sounds like a Cyberpunk corporation and a half. You remember that too, or at least the rumours of it from other sleepers, plan obsolescence, a built-in dependence on regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body becomes to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. They're going to a great length to set up the whole cybernetics thing. I guess that's one of the things. If you're going to do a text-based RPG as such, which is what this kind of works out at, then you can spend a bit more time setting scene. The eye, yep. Nod. We nodded. Right. So now we've actually got to the tutorial. That was just an introduction, a pre-tutorial tutorial as such. So welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head back to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. So this is just a simple map thing. Oh, there we go. So that's the space station. There's where we need to go. And that's it. So we only have the one option now because tutorial and stuff. We'll go in and end the cycle. Nothing else we can do. So it does look like it'll be a little bit more interactive than a visual novel. That pre-tutorial introduction is really kind of deceptive. But it is going to be very text heavy. Very, very text heavy. You wake curled up in the corner of your container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find the body strange and disjointed. The message is readable but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are on a ruined station, millions of miles away from everybody you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It is impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Do we want to escape? Do we want to get answers? Or do we want to build a life? You know, to be honest, I'd like to know what the hell's going on. Because this game really does introduce things in a very vague way. I have no idea what's going on. Absolutely. So, getting answers is my solution. This is what I want. I want to know what's happening. It all matters. The past is impossible to escape and remains a blur. What S and ARP did to you cannot be forgotten. You need a way to understand all of this before you can move on. That's true. Where are you? What is this place? What happened to the others? These questions outnumber the answers. You want to change that, but you'll have to learn to survive first. So, if the options were there to survive, why did it make me do that option? One thing I don't like about indie RPGs sometimes is they give you this perception that you've got decisions that you can make, but then they find these really arbitrary ways to wind things back to the same response. If you have the options, I want to survive, I want to escape, or want to build a life, then the option that you choose should become kind of the way that the narrative goes. It shouldn't try and cycle things back to another option. But anyway, putting that aside, I'll forgive the game so far. I'm boiling some water, make some coffee. Hello, Trinest. Welcome to the stream. Narrative is important, but where's the fan service? Yeah, that's a good point, Trinest. Trent. I should say that. Trent, the person who's commenting as Trinest on the comment stream, it's actually Trent, as in the guy that's on our podcast all the time. He knows the score. He knows what's important. Fan service is all that's important. And there isn't any so far. May well be yet. Cyberpunk does have a lot of that stuff. There we go. So, tutorial. It only took us about half an hour to get to a tutorial of actual gameplay, but we're here now. We are now enjoying a tutorial. We have condition. Your condition represents your the current state of your artificial body. So that's the top little bar there on the screen, the orange bit. If you let the condition run out, your body breaks down. Okay. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. So that is how the RPG bits come in. And then energy. You need to eat to survive. So you've got two different health bars you need to manage. One is condition and one is energy. So we need to find food, and we also need to not break down. And we have all these dice that we can use. So we exit. As we exit, Dragos comes and talks to us again. Dragos is stood in the corridor Dragos is stood in the corridor when you close up the container. I think this might have been localized from another language. I don't think English may have been the developer's first, because that is odd phrasing. He is still wearing his headset, and the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cachet of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? How are we feeling? That is a good question. We are feeling not good. Dragos nods. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. Okay, fine. You well enough to work? We sure are. Let's earn some good monies. I did say not good, Trent. You and I didn't even need your prompting. I can read your mind. I know exactly how you'd like me to play. And I've selected not good. So we've got to do a job. We hack these old holes down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for Cairo. That must be currency. Occasionally we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of it is just scrap. So we're going to be a scrapper. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Got it. I imagine chits must be another type of currency in this world. He shifts nervously. Look, I wouldn't normally do this. In my opinion, you be best suited moving off as quickly as you can and sleep as well. But things being the way they are for me in the yard, I need the help. Happy to. Will do. Looks like it's time to get to work. What if we didn't know that? The explanation could have been important. I'm guessing. I'm sure we'll find things out soon enough, Trent. If I've rushed ahead, they'll explain things to us. So we're back to the map, and we've got a low-end gate here, a passage to the low end of town. That's where Dragos does his work, or that's where we can go to work. That's our home. And that's it. So we haven't got too many options, but we may as well go to Dragos and do some work, shall we? Wow, this is a lot of information on the interface. So, tutorial. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world as citizen sleeper. To perform an action, select it and press A, and then choose an action dice to assign to it. Okay. So basically, I think, just from scanning through this, the bulk of this game is going to be about deciding the percentage chances of things going wrong and whether you want to take that risk. So we can choose any of these actions here. We can choose to either manually salvage something or hull dissection something. And we have these dice up here to assign to these actions. The more little bits on the dice, the greater the percentage chance that something goes right for us. So let's go with hull dissection. We'll save our good dice. That's the good dice there. Hello, Diddyram. Welcome to the stream. 2077 problems, and none of them are Cyberpunk. Well, the Cyberpunk was a bit of a problem for that game too, because it wasn't Cyberpunk at all. I wasn't a fan of 2077, So let's go with that. Okay. So because of that one, we've got a 25% chance of a positive response, a 50% chance of a neutral response, and a 25% chance of a negative response. That totals up to 100%. And we're working. Neutral outcome. I think this is the bulk of the game, what we're looking at right now. I think this is pretty much it. Actions often progress clocks. So when you do things, time moves forward. Funny that. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them, then they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good, bad, or neutral, I guess, is going to happen. Some clocks are cycle clocks, the clocks that tick themselves each cycle and can complete. So down the bottom of the screen there, you're seeing there's these things that fill up as I fill them with actions, and they when they're completely filled, then it's done. The thing that I was doing is done. So let's continue again. We'll do another one of these, and that. Drives and navigation. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives depending on what path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Fine. And now I am free. That's the end of the tutorial. That's it. I don't understand what's going on. I still don't understand how this game exactly works, but I have apparently finished the tutorials and know everything that I need to. We need to survive, we need to learn about ourselves, and then escape. And if we run out of dice, we go home to start again. So let's do this action. And that's that. So we've got these jobs here. We need to find a doctor. Okay, let's go looking for a doctor. So now we've got access to all of these things, you see. There's the bright market. We can sell stuff. Dock 2. Old dock terminal. Maybe there's a doctor in here. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of Helian systems are rare, but those that do always return eventually. Okay. Nothing there. What we got in here? We can try and steal dock plans. I feel like the logic in this game is more confusing knowing how it works. Just click once so it ends up breaking during the negative drive. Yeah. I'm not sure that this game does a good job of onboarding players. We'll leave that for now. What else have we got? Dock B2. And nothing there. Bright market. So we can ask for directions or explore the market. I reckon if we ask for directions, we might be able to find our doctor friend. We'll put all the dice into this one. It's just Cyberpunk with Among Us narrative. Yeah, okay, that works, I guess. This one has a 100% positive response because it's like a good dice. So let's see what we do. Oh, we filled it up. We got full local knowledge now. So we can't use those actions anymore. And we have full knowledge of the area. And is that a doctor? So we found our doctor. And a street food vendor. And that's it. So let's go hang out with the doctor. That's what we needed. The enforcer from the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue. Try not to bring attention to yourself. You are thankful for the tip-off that the doctor was operating out of this place, but now you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block. They all have made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, your body will ... Little segue here. I've got a movie recommendation for everybody. It's actually not a new movie, but I've only watched it for the first time recently. And this kind of scene reminded me of that. It's called Hotel Artemis. It stars Jodie Foster and Dave Bautista. And it's kind of like this movie about a crime doctor. Well, not a crime doctor. A doctor who has like a underground hotel. Has turned a hotel into an underground kind of clinic for the criminals in a city that's descending into chaos and stuff. And it's just really good. It's a really, really good film. It really flew under the radar. It did very poorly at the box office for reasons, I believe, including COVID reasons. But yeah, Hotel Artemis. If you haven't seen it yet, look it up. It's really good. Now, back to the game. So we are now at the front of the queue. Do we look at the enforcer or do we look inside? Let's go inside. Let's not look at the enforcer. He might intimidate us. Oh, so the enforcer slapped us away anyway. Wait our turn. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway, and you catch a distant voice. Send in the next one. Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head, and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of Bright Market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. That would be the doctor. Sabine, come and sit. Comes a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. Very hygienic. It's good that they've got standards, even in this decrepit world. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as though to speak. They blink and then quickly regain their composure. Please sit. So they know who you are, basically. I'm reading between the lines there, but I think they know who you are. Running through, now they're examining you. How long have you been on the station? They ask. A scanner that is to your eye. A few cycles or don't answer. Well, it hasn't even been one cycle yet. So I'm going to not answer. They lower the scanner and meet your eye. You can talk. I need you to be honest with me or you can leave. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. Pretty good assumption to make there, Sabine. Your body is dying. Thank you for stating the obvious. That is the whole point of the narrative so far. SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. This is all a metaphor for the video game industry, I'm pretty sure. It's like SNARP is like Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft, and as soon as their games aren't making money for them, they just let it go to prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping. They built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. That's the console generation, you see. So as you move from one console to the next, that's planned obsolescence. This is metaphoric for the video game industry. It's like hyperdimension Neptunia. That's what we're playing here. It's a commentary on the video game industry. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer. So if they don't keep releasing the games every so often, then they decay and disappear, you see. This is very profound. Sound familiar? Yes, it does. Emulations like you. See, now they're even using the right words. Sleepers, as most people know you, retro gaming, aren't classified as people in any of their surrogate systems. You have no rights and no status. And SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer onto the market. Video game industry developers and publishers don't have any reason to preserve games unless they're making money, you see. I'm pretty sold on this being a metaphor. Silence fills the worm. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help. They sigh. And you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture you to the door. You saw Toshiro outside. He works for my benefactor, Yatagen. They are influential in the low end. They gave me this space to work, run the door, and take the profits. So Yakuza type outfit. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagen has connections, smugglers from the Starward Belt, mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. Why help me? Thank you. Well, let's not ask the question. Let's just take it in stride. Sabine walks away from the window, their face dappled by the shadows of the passing drones. Let's see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. So the game's very good with the pronouns. It's got all of that going for it, as I guess most cyberpunk things do. It does tend to be a very progressive and forward-thinking and open-minded genre. That's one of the reasons I like it so much. And they've got that right here. Sabine is staring out. Unmoving when you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You head back out into the crowd. Okay, so that was a long bit of narrative, but we have a rough idea what we need to do. We need to wait for Sabine to acquire the stabilizer. That's our next objective, as you can see here. But we do have a sense that stuff's going down. There's like a crime group that we need to deal with. And I keep checking out this food vendor. I think I want food. Let's see if we can get some food. Emphas is busy, his broad face uplift by the makeshift gas. I'm really having trouble reading tonight. It's been a long week. Makeshift gas burner in front of him. The smell is incredible. What are we getting to eat? You watch as he approaches. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with a bright salad and deposited it in plastic trays. A stack of chits, that being cash, rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. We can have a snack. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvages, vac suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby mods, a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives, their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually it's your turn. And as I shuffle to the front, Emphas speaks in a deep, even tone without even looking out. Up. First try is free. Excellent, we get a free snack. Give us a snack. It's almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The fungus laced with something so spicy, the smoke makes your eyes water. I think that's pretty much the only way I'll be able to survive on this little station here. Not the world's biggest fan of mushrooms, but if you put enough spice into them, I can handle them. So, good stuff. Spicy mushroom. You begin to tell him your journey into the eye, but he's cooking for you. The eye excites us and scares us, and we are unsure of where to walk, where to look, and what to do. Welcome to the real world. Eventually, you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus, spicy fungus, in your hand. Next time, we can talk some more. But next time you pay. Oh, great. No more free snack. Next time. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glistening pin marks. Nice tattoo. Nice. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste senses light up like a fashion reactor. You'll be back. So food's good, but we've got to pay next time. So we've still got a little bit of time left because we have to wait for Sabine to acquire the stabilizer that we need. We've got one more dice. So we may as well use that working the courtyard here. And I'm going to continue working on that one I was already working on. Assign the last dice I have for this cycle and start action. That one didn't go so well, I don't think. Yeah, that was a failure. That did not go well for me. So, exit. Okay. Now, I've done everything I can for the day. So, I need to head back to my home, which is here, the empty container, and have a rest. What's that? There's a shipyard there. I'll have to explore that later on. But we'll go back to our home and have a chill. End cycle. That's it. That is our first day on this Cyberpunk quest that we're on. Nope, first we've got to go through some more narrative. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across the colourless void. And then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station? No, you feel the station like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. You know, I reckon this game was probably inspired by people that played Baldur's Gate. As I'm reading these kinds of narrative things, the thing that just kind of keeps hitting me is the way that the original Baldur's Gate has those narrated sections. And I can't remember the name of the actor that did the narration, but it had that real silky, smooth voice and tone to it. And it was so descriptive and so evocative that despite the overall simplicity of the Baldur's Gate visual engine and all of that stuff, it really set a scene, these kind of little narrative vignettes that it throws at you. This game seems to be doing something like that. Unfortunately, my voice doesn't have that silky smoothness, so my narration isn't up to that scratch, but I have that voice in my head as I'm reading this, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. We'll just observe it, I think. Even though we have no eyes, no sight, you can feel and see the map of the station. I will say it's not written as well as the Baldur's Gate. Like, the writing of this thing needed an edit. It needed somebody to go through it with a red pen and highlight the bits that just are clumsy. But anyway, that's what you expect from an indie game, I guess. It's not Disco Elysium. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you incessantly as if it was a small child. Somehow it is pulling you in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and you feel it waiting there. A storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored, and then it is gone. Cool. One other thing I'm getting the sense of from this game is, I mean, Cyberpunk has a whole bunch of different themes and narrative and thematic focuses, and one of them is definitely the identity of self in kind of a techno future world when technology and humanity are so intertwined. Where is the role of humanity? And this game does seem to be kind of orientated towards that more than anything else at this stage. I'm not getting the anti-capitalism, which is what another major part of Cyberpunk. That's not coming through so strongly right now, but that sense of self certainly is. So we can head down here. That one's all kind of glowy and stuff. Seems to be implying that I should be dropping into here. Oh, there's a couple of different actions I can do here. I can assist a shipbuilder, or haul materials around. That's just more work. I'd rather stick to the work I was already doing. Nothing happening here. But you'll see the cycle clocks ticking on. So stuff happens on the station even if you're not directly involved. And when that fills up, something else will happen. There'll be some new event, which I like. Because obviously you want a sense of stuff moving on. Oh, maybe that is ready to go. Yeah, looks like it might be. Let's check in. No, 3 more cycles for that. So I need to fill in some time, and I'll just do some work. Back at Drogos's yard. So that little number down there, I just realized, that's my money. I've got 40 Cairo, which are cryptocurrencies. You earn Bitcoin in this game. You earn Bitcoins. Of course you do. Of course you do. So let's get on to doing some more of this work that we were doing. We'll go with the low chance here. There's a 50% chance of a neutral event and a 50% chance of a negative event happening. So this is a bit of a risk, but let's do it. Don't be negative, don't be negative, don't be negative. Hey, it's a positive. So we got a little bit of cash ourselves and we helped out. Let's continue this work. Oh, that was a negative. I'm running out of energy now. I'm getting hungry, you see. Maybe I can go and buy some food. I would imagine that here is where you go to get your energy back. Yeah. It costs 15 bucks, 15 crypto, 15 bitcoins for a bit of fungus. Okay. So we'll do that. There we go. Now I can go back and work again. I have refueled my body. So this one has no, this dice that I'm just rolling here has no chance of a negative result, 50% chance of a positive result, and 50% chance of a neutral result. So let's go with that. And it was a neutral outcome, unfortunately. So it didn't really do much for me. All right, so I think that's all I can do now today. That's it. I ran out of actions. So I head back to my empty container and end the cycle. So once again, we have another dream. And this time, well, let's see what happens with this dream, shall we? So between the threads, you see bright shapes. Cachet, death is free. That's really the only solution to Cyberpunk, isn't it, Diddy? When you think about it, that's the only exit. This game promises that you're working towards an escape of this spaceship or this whatever it is, space station. But I'm pretty sure the only real escape is going to be death. So where is Anno Mutatonium? Is there a new Anno game out? I did not know that. When did that release? I love Anno. I really, really enjoy the Anno series. It's one of the few things that I still care about from what Ubisoft owns. I did not know there was a new Anno game. Focus on the nodes. These dream things are not engaging me that deeply, to be honest. They're just written clumsily. So it's not my kind of thing. It's not an Anno game, it's a Cyberpunk game about girls. Well, that's even better. Is this on PC? I'll have to buy this. Is this on Steam? I shall research it afterwards. I'm sure the people that wrote this thought they were being quite profound. These little dream sequences. You get 2 lines, but who knows? Let's go with the first line. The first thread leads out away from the station into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching even closer with each cycle. So that might be portentous. It's on Steam and PlayStation. I'll definitely check it out on PlayStation then. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Thanks for the heads up, Diddy. And then we get to see the second thread anyway. Time is short. Okay. Someone out there is tracking you, following your trail. So it was actually a kind of a vision. So now we need to figure out who is hunting us and find out how to survive being hunted. Wow. You got a lot of these little missions now. Interesting. Tutorial, the cloud. So we've got Bitcoin, we've got the cloud. This game is pretty much telling us that everything we use these days is cyberpunkish, which is pretty true. You can now access the data cloud of the eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches, while you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data. But be careful, these networks are old and strange. They have all kinds of nasty videos on them. Lots of viruses. So we can turn that on and off. And when you do that, you can check these nodes out. It's a dark world. Interesting. Data actions allow you to extract data from the networks of the eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your dice to one of the displayed on the right of the action. Once unlocked, the data can be extracted. Okay. I'm out of touch with contemporary gaming. Well, that is true, Diddy. That is very true. I have been left behind. Now I must redeem myself by playing popular titles such as Vampire Blood Hunt. Not my decision. Yeah, I'm very offended by that game. I really am not. I do not approve of battle royales in the Vampire the Masquerade world. It's not my thing. So I need to find a dice that is like a 1, not a 2, not a yellow, not a 4. I need to find a 1 dice. And then I can unlock that data bit. Oh, here we go. I can unlock this one because I've got a 2, you see. And a 2. A Haven Age member is broadcasting on the open network from here, leaving them open to data extraction. Let's steal their data. I don't know what happened. Give me their data. I did get their data. So, let's have a look at our data, shall we? I don't know what that does, but I have it. I don't know where I use it, but as you can see at the bottom of the screen there, there's like a data thing. So I now have the Heaven Age data, but what I do with it, I don't know. I have all that money and then that data. Maybe it's a type of currency, we'll find out. Back to the real world, as such. I need to continue to do some work for Dragos. I didn't want to end my cycle. Dragos, there we go. Let's do that with a guaranteed, that's 100% chance of a positive result, because it is the best dice. I'm going to waste it on this, I'm sure, but let's do it. How? I'm getting there. I've nearly finished this task. So I will hopefully, with a 25% chance of a positive result here, finish the task. Come on. Don't let me down. Nope. Nothing. Negative outcome. I need to go and have some dinner because I've nearly run out of energy. Gaming fact. Diddy has a gaming factor first. Elder Scrolls V Skyrim contains NPCs called Red Guards. That is a reference to the 1998 video game The Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard. So, Diddy, was that the N-Gage Elder Scrolls game? The one that you're talking about there, Redguard? Because I remember that Nokia N-Gage console actually had an Elder Scrolls game released for it. And I believe it was only ever released on that console. Or phone, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, always wanted to play that. I was a huge time fan of Morrowind back in the day, and when I saw that the N-Gage was getting an Elder Scrolls game, I very, very nearly bought an N-Gage, but I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't. We'll just order ourselves some fungus. Get our energy back. Okay. So I've got nothing else to do today. In this little day, this cycle. So we'll go back to our container. Oh, that's a good dice draw we've got. So our little hunted clock has just ticked on 1. I imagine that if we don't figure out how to deal with that, if we don't figure out how to deal with that pretty quickly, then that's going to be the end of us. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards us. So who are we going to talk to? Sleeper, wait up. Let's turn around. I'm sure they're going to be a friend. Feng. Don't know Feng. We're about to. Do I know you, Feng? No, we don't know you, Feng. He grins. You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you around. Just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods towards a container, shaking his head rough. It can be hard to get a start in the eye. Thank you, Feng. He looks away down the passage. What was it old Erlin said? The eye opens for us all. Nice idea, but, well, not always practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. Who's we? Yeah, good question. Heaven Age. We are one dysfunctional family. Heaven Age, that's the data we stole yesterday. Think of us as an administrative association for the Eye. Depending on who you want to talk to, we either emerged as a response to or a contraction of Andre Erlin's original union. Oh, he's a union boy. But he avoids the topic. Sounds about right for modern unions. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I've been seeing some unusual network activity and, well, I know a little about you sleepers. I have a small proposition for you. But this is not the place for it. He's going to beat us up. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare. Then, when you are settled, stop by. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there is work to be done. Stay clean, sleeper, and then heads away. Okay. So eventually we get to go and chat with him. The narrative threads deepen. I'm starting to see the potential of this game, to be honest. It's getting me. It's starting to draw me in. There's a lot of different characters and narrative threads in the air, and I'm kind of intrigued to see how they all play out, to be honest. For now, though, I just want to finish this job. So I'm going to go for the Hail Mary, the 100% positive one, and just finish it. I want this done. Go away. All right, so we finished that job. Now that action's unavailable. I'll probably get a cutscene now. Yep. There we go. You arrive into a buzz of activity in the yard. Red blinking lights flash across the vast dark shape. Suspended below the dome, they flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures spilling from holes in the twisted shape. The clutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Dragos stands to the side, focused on the hulking shape as it is lowered into the yard. What is it? It looks ugly to me. Let's tell Dragos how it is. That, my friend, is A-grade scrap. Cool. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through the multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragos for the craft, but you can't help but think of what has become... Because you can't help but think of what has become of its crew. What happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvage friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No, what happened to the ship? Not my concern. So Dragos is a bit mercenary. I don't like Dragos. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked inside that container in the wreck of the S&ARP freighter, lowered into the... So, Dragos is just a guy that gets scrapped, doesn't care where they come from, and makes his money. No, why not? I don't want to help you anymore, mate. So it's probably got a new task there. Yeah. Oh, here we go. You do get to upgrade your character as well. And that's the next set of actions. So here we go. We have all of these upgrades that we can earn. But at the moment I can only get the interface one. Can I not upgrade anything else? Ah, there we go. These are the upgrades I can do. Chance to gain energy after any engage action. Dice actions display potential positive and negative outcomes. That's actually pretty handy. Knowing what's going to happen. Agent nodes give you double data. No, that's I need 2 upgrade points for that anyway. Chance to gain random scrap items from engineer actions. I'm going to go with predictive reasoning. That one sounds good to me. So there is leveling up here. We are talking about an RPG here, people. Now, if my sense of timing is right, then the doctor should have something for me. Yep. Give me stuff, doctor. Get my stabilizer. I have no idea how yet again. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea what it appears to be. So this stabilizer might not be so good for us. That'd be right. Make us risk it. I don't care. Just give me the stuff. But they're not going to let me. Again, why give me the dialogue option if you're not going to just let me play with the consequences? Anyway, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but we need to be careful. Unfortunately, I am not sure we have another choice. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the former part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups. So they're going through a whole bunch of junk science here to explain to me why this injection is going to save my life or something. The stabilizer. So there's a bunch of passcodes. It's all techno stuff. Okay. The only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. So we had to go through about 40 lines of dialogue to get to the point that I wanted to anyway. Just inject the thing. Let's just see how it goes. Let's do it. Whoa, something flashed. A sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises like an argument heard from underwater, prickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of the slate. Awake, yes we are. We survived the injection. The stabilizer is genuine. There we go. Yatagan came through for us. You should rest some more, but you are going to have to do that somewhere else. I have other patients, sorry. And we're going to have to pay for our next dose, fair enough. Nothing comes free, sleeper, remember that. Well, that's certainly sinister enough. You manage to get to your feet and wander into the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands patiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware that the station is spinning beneath you. Okay. So we survived that, and we are now stable. You can see our yellow energy at the top there is all full again. So we good. We good. We good. I got another upgrade. I don't know why, but I do. Okay. Go with Thrill Seeker. It's not going to let me. Give me my Thrill Seeker. No. I might have upgrade points available, but apparently I can't use any of them. Okay, so now we need to buy that again. This one here, the Aught Exchange, has some kind of dialogue thing going. I'll go back to that. Let's do some shipyard work to finish out the day. We'll help the shipbuilder here, yeah? And we got a little bit out of that. We'll try it again. And another neutral outcome. So that's the end of our day. So that gives you an idea what this game is about. I will finish up the stream now since we're at the end of the day, and that's a good place to finish it. I hope this was interesting. Apologies for the technical issues at the start, but like I said, I'm working out a new sound system. I hope this all sounded better than the last times. Oh, Diddy, so do you think that Cephism no Gensu, which you definitely bought and played, believe it or not, I did buy it, Diddy. I actually buy a lot of these games that you recommend to me. I've got all those flower games, and I've got this one, this Cephism no Gensu, but whether I find the time for them is another matter. I will continue to try to. I guarantee you that. I do my best, but I am a very busy person, and I don't get much time to play games for fun, as much as I like anyway. So, yeah, sorry that I don't get to play them as quickly as you might like. Play now, yeah. I am about to head off, Diddy. What was I saying? Yeah, this is an interesting game, this Citizen Sleeper. I'm going to continue to play it and get a review up and digitally downloaded when I get a chance. It could go either way. At the moment, I'm ambivalent about it. The writing's the problem. The gameplay structures itself seem to be pretty decent. Time management in a kind of turn-based way, which is appealing to me, so I should enjoy that. But yeah, I'm just not sure about the writing just yet. We will see. I will have a review up and digitally downloaded when I get a chance. Other than that, have a great weekend, everybody. Playing lots of games, and we will see you next time.